Biddy the Bitter Almond.
So yeah,
Biddy the Bitter Almond says you're so good at
mhm.
reading, you should do audiobooks.
I have considered that. Maybe I will. I don't know. That's it's a lot of time,
It is. I
so
can
I'd have to
definitely
balance it against
confirm.
all the other stuff I do. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why the camera here suddenly changed sizes on me. Sorry, chat, don't mind me. So, Mary Amber says, yes, audiobook is an awesome idea with added music.
Hello, Mary Amber. Mary Amber is a fellow nerd music twitcher. Well, I guess she doesn't go by nerd music anymore, and I keep forgetting that. And I apologize, Mary. She does comedy music, although it certainly there are a lot of nerd themes within it. And she is from Sydney, Australia, so I think it's super early for her right now. So thanks for coming by,
Indeed.
Mary.
So, JD Deluzio asked, how much of their body can an undead individual lose before they stop functioning?
I guess that depends on the fiction. In this case, it's her eyes and heart, and possibly more, because things get donated when a young person
Mm-hmm.
dies. Sometimes not even a young person.
Also true. So, yes, J Schick 72 says, love it. Pelayo says,
Hey, JShake72.
ha, awesome. M Cross 2112 says,
Nice.
so good, can't wait to read the rest. Old
Excellent.
Stoneface says, you can't stop there. I can't wait for the book to arrive, man.
You have no choice.
Yes, it only gets better from there.
I hope so.
Uh, for those who follow the Brain Lag social media, and for those who don't, I gave a little preview of a few lines from later, just a little bit later in the book, a few weeks ago, which were particular favorites from me when VJ arrives and meets the undead girl, and they're discussing what she can do.
Right.
So, The Voices 2 asks, how did you develop your characters? Did you pull ideas from people you know?
For the most part, no. They were all. I have done that. I've certainly written people into things. In some cases, I picture an actor who I think would be good in the role, and then I just kind of write it around what I think they would do. That's the case of. I'll give this away, I guess. That's the case of the police chief, or I guess he's a
The
sergeant or what.
sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff, the police sheriff. I actually based him on, and I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he is Walter White's brother-in-law in Breaking Bad. That guy, who was also the military guy that stole Sheldon and Leonard's stuff that they were working on, their engine or whatever it was. That well, he didn't steal it, but they were done, and he just came and took it. That guy, whatever that actor's name is, I pictured him and wrote that part for him.
Nice.
And so for the other ones, they're literally I just sort of thought, well, what would this person be like? Although two of the names, Katja Carter, who's the woman who had the heart and the replacement, and VJ Mehta, who is her husband. Those are actual names of friends of mine who were the first two people on Facebook when I said, "Who wants their name to be used as characters in a book?" And they were the first ones to say me. So there they are, and I hope they enjoy their namesakes.
So, were those characters based on those friends, or was it mainly just. Okay.
Not at all. Yeah. No, they're entirely fictional. Just I took the name from real people. There's some other real people names in there as well. I won't give them all away. I'll let those people decide if they want to tell people.
And following that up, JD Deluzio asks, who would you cast in the film or TV version of your novel?
Well, obviously, I would cast Walter White's brother-in-law as the sheriff. Um, hmm. Like, who would play Katya? I don't know. It would have to be. Katya has like a whole lot of red hair, so like I don't know, Merida from Brave, except she's not real. That's a good question, and you've got me on the spot there. I don't know. The one guy's the only one who I actually had a thought as to who would play him. Um, so yeah, I'm stuck on that one. That's a good question. I'll
The
think about
Voices
it.
2 says, me, cast me. Followed up with, dude, I have red
I
hair.
could. She does have red hair. She has a whole lot of red hair.
And JD said that Dean Norris played Walter White's brother-in-law.
Dean Norris, that's the guy's name. Yes. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. And he always plays like an overbearing cop or military. So that's why. And it was Under the Dome was where I actually originally knew him from. And so I sort of just was like, that guy's perfect. I'm just going to picture him and write the cop around him. Or at least at least around the characters he plays. He may be the nicest guy in the world, I assume so, or he wouldn't keep getting work.
Yeah.
But then you think about some of the people who do keep getting work, and maybe that's faulty logic.
That's true. Who knows?
But here we are.
And mcross2112 says, will there be a movie? There should be. It would be cool.
I would love there to be a movie, but obviously that's not up to me. I don't have the $100 million to... Actually, I assume this is not that special effects intensive. It would probably be cheaper than, say, a Marvel film.
Oh, well, certainly.
But either way, I'm certainly not bankrolling it. If someone else wants to, I'm all for it.
Rodimus Doctor says Keira Knightley could play Rose. She's got range.
Keira Knightley. She might be, at this point, a little old for Rose, because Rose is pretty young. Rose is like 18, 19.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, like maybe... Actually, she's probably too old now, too. I was thinking Chloe Grace Moretz, maybe, but I think she's even, like, getting near 30 at this point, isn't she? Which is weird to think, but...
well, I mean...
often I think that... Sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, often I think that kind of casting is best when it's an unknown, to be quite frank, because, you know, if you don't know who they are, you're not looking at them going, hey, that's whoever. Hey, there's Han Solo, right? It's, hey, there's this person I don't know. They to the viewer, you're more likely to buy them as that character, I think. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I can see that. Rodimus Doctor affirmed she can play young. It's called acting. Mary Amber.
That's fair.
Mary Amber says some 30-year-olds still look super young. Also true.
That is true. That is true. And of course, she's going to have a lot of makeup on too. She's going to be very pale and have sunglasses on, or at least green.
No eyes.
Green makeup where they CGI out the eyes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's true. That's true.
And JD also added, running the average country is cheaper than a Marvel film. So, yes.
Well, that is true. But the average country doesn't have to pay for Robert Downey Jr., I guess.
That's true. That's true. Bethan75 says, late to the party.
Hey,
Congrats,
Bethan.
Mike.
Thank you, Bethan.
And JD also adds Sophia Lillis, maybe? She played Beverly in the recent It.
Oh, I saw it in the theater. I don't remember a lot of... Oh, wait, I think I know who you mean. Yeah, as Rose, maybe. Sorry, as the unnamed girl, because it's totally a secret. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that could work. I don't know.
We're gonna have to work
I'm not
on
a
this.
casting director.
We're gonna have to work on this. So you'll have to come up with a list, and I'll share it to social media sometime after.
That seems fair. I'm also not exactly up on actors. Like, I can name all the members of Gojira, but I can't necessarily tell you who starred in whatever movie I just watched. So
that's fair.
That sort of thing.
Paleo added, I wouldn't know about who to cast, but I can totally see this made to creepy perfection by A24 Films.
A24 films, I don't know them.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Can you tell us some movies that they did in the chat there, Paleo?
Yeah, I'm curious now.
What is one of the first things you want to do when the pandemic is over? Asks the Voices 2.
Oh, there are people. Oh, no. Okay. Obviously, the answer is to go have brunch with the Voices too. I do miss our brunches. There are a number of people who I would just like to see in person, and Voices 2 is certainly one of them. And there are others, many of which are right there in chat right now, and it would be good. Maybe by the time it's over, I can drink alcohol again because I can't do that right now for reasons, and so that would be cool to go hang out at one of our favorite places and drink.
And I know I am definitely missing the convention scene, and
yeah, big time.
I'm so looking forward to it. And I have to ask, have you ever been introduced at a con or an event or something by someone saying, "Unleash the Kraken"?
I have.
Awesome.
People who I've never known have run up to me and just yelled that, and I'm like, of course. Well, he's released right here. I've released a number of Kraken albums.
Wonderful. So, Paleo answered the question about the studio: Midsommar, The Witch, Hereditary.
Okay. All movies I'm aware exist but haven't seen, but they're horror-y, so I could definitely see that's kind of their thing. I mean, the story is less horror than it sort of seems, but it definitely, it's based in horror, certainly.
Yeah, and I think you're right that it wouldn't be too excessive on special effects. And in fact, actually, you go into some movie special effects in the book, mainly related to VJ's brother, Amar. Amar's work with special effects, makeup, and props.
Yeah.
So was there a lot of research you had to do on that, or is that something you just have an innate knowledge of?
I watched how many ever seasons it was of Face Off, the challenge show where special effects hopefuls are given challenges to make special effects makeup stuff, and so that was already in there. I didn't watch it for the book. It was just something I knew about because I loved the show. So as it entered, I was like, well, I know what L200 foam is and that sort of thing. I've done a bunch of it myself. If you watch the Kraken videos, there's a lot of I do all my own special effects and stuff very badly, but I think that they come out at least humorously, and that's kind of what I'm going for.
Well, there you go. So, was there anything you did have to research for the book?
Yes. The way bruise patterns work on a dead person. Whether or not if you die immediately in a car accident, if you still get the same bruising here and here as you do if you don't die. If the seatbelt is enough to keep you in, but you don't hit so hard that you die. So I had to research that.
Okay.
So I just PM'd a doctor friend and said, hey, I'm writing a novel, so trust me, this isn't as creepy as it sounds.
All writers have questionable Google histories.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was Googling spree killers for my work computer for a long time for something I was writing. And I thought, yeah, I better actually write that. Otherwise, if they see this, they're going to be like, I better talk to this guy. I did get laid off from that job, so maybe they looked at my history.
JD Deluzio added the same studio mentioned has done non-horror as well, e.g. Ex Machina, The Lighthouse, and Eighth Grade.
Okay, I've seen Ex Machina. That was great, but that's the only one of those that I've seen at all. I don't get to watch very many movies because I write books and make music. Which, when the music you're making is based on nerd stuff, is a bit of a challenge. You have to get the time to watch the movies once in a while to write something about them.
But I also true.
Tend to write stuff that's sort of nerd adjacent, but not specifically about movies so much anymore. I certainly have done songs about like the first Avengers movie or Contact or Demolition Man, but that sort of thing is becoming a little more rare from me.
Well, I certainly loved the songs you performed earlier. Obviously, the book's theme song and a song about reading. I mean, you can't get better than that.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that some people are a little down on the Seuss right now, and I get why. I mean, I understand, and I fully support the Seuss Foundation taking those books off the market, even though one of them was my favorite. But you gotta move on. And the people who are upset about it need to chill.
Yeah.
Because, nothing's being banned, nothing's being canceled. They just looked at it and said, this isn't acceptable anymore. So that I just wanted to point out that the song was not a statement either way, but I do support the Seuss Foundation, or whatever you call them, their decision to do that. Even though, like I said, I love Dawn Beyond Zebra, but that picture was a little questionable at best.
In the chat, Rodimus Doctor, we're still talking about the movie version, said, I'd like to see Edgar Wright take a crack at directing this.
I would love that. Edgar Wright is one of my favorites. I would love to see Edgar Wright take a crack at a Star Wars, quite seriously. Not, obviously, the prime 9 movies are done, but like a side thing of some
Oh yeah, they have so many more side movies coming out, and some of them have been quite good.
Some have. Rogue One was fantastic.
It was.
Solo had its moments.
Have you
and I still haven't seen. Sorry, I still haven't seen The Mandalorian, so I'm a bad Star Wars fan apparently.
That's all right. It took us a while to watch The Mandalorian, and I will agree. The hype is well earned. It's a good series. So if you
I haven't heard anyone say anything really bad about it.
So yeah, if you do get,
I have to step away from the camera for half a second.
No worries. Oh my goodness, we have a lovely Kraken in the chat here.
Okay, I'm back. I'm not looking at the chat, and I'm afraid if I call it up that the whole computer will die.
Yes, no, I'm taking a screenshot of that because somebody made a Kraken out of emojis. That's the voices
is it
too.
The blue one?
Yes.
Okay, I think I know the one. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'm a fan of that.
In my OBS, it doesn't come out quite right, but that's awesome.
That's okay. I'm planning on watching the replay later anyway, because I'm vain like that.